chair of the Conservation Commission.
Chris Perner, member.
Rich Clapham, member.
And tonight, our new clerk is here, Lorraine Michaels.
Thank you. Be kind, okay?
So the next thing on the agenda is public comment. Is there anything anyone would like to bring up before we get started? Okay. We're gonna hold off on the meeting minutes until next time, so we're gonna skip over that for now. The first item on the agenda under new business is a public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Town of Hubbardston Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, for a notice of intent submitted to the Conservation Commission by McCarty Engineering on the behalf of Don Mitchell for property located at 28 Laurel Lane for proposed retaining wall improvements. Is the applicant here?
Yep.
Good evening.
What's your name?
Larry Green.
Nice to meet you.
Good evening. Green cards for sir.
Oh, thank you.
Should I just hold the plan? What's best for you
Yeah,
guys
you
to?
can hold it up. That works for us.
Okay. Again, good evening, Larry Green here. Present the notice of intent for the property situated at 28 Morrill Lane. Basically, this works is the scope of the works is basically, as you stated, is a replacement of a retaining wall within the 100 feet of the resource area. I'm just going to step back. There's orientation. Morrill Lane is one of those dead-end roads along Comet Pond. 28 being the last one at the end of the road. And then basically the wall work is basically between the house and the pond's edge. I'm just gonna I'll work picture and then kind of work around. Kind of using this picture, right? We got pond edge, little BVW associated with that, lawn area, existing two-tiered timber wall. That's the wall we'd like to replace. Then you got a lower patio, upper deck, and the working planometrically kind of here. Same thing, pond edge, BVW, lawn area, existing wall, lower deck, upper deck. And then kind of using this picture here, kind of see that here's the two-tiered wall. It's starting to bow out. It's showing failure. So that's the wall we'd like to replace. Basically, we're going to go with a block wall. Same location, plus or minus, but as part of that work, we'd also, while we're into that construction, we'd also like to beef up the upper decks. Probably maybe add a post, probably add some better footings for that upper deck. Maybe beef up that beam, and then once all that's done, really just kind of butt it all back together. Finish building a wall, do the lower patio, connect to a landing area, and reset the existing stairs. All work that was disturbed will be loamed and seeded. We are proposing erosion control kind of outside the limit of work area here, and that's really about it. And then we do have construction access to get lower back there as well.
Yeah. I apologize for just a point of order. We're supposed to open the order of the public hearing. So can I have a motion to make sure this is officially open?
Right.
Sorry.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Alright.
Sorry about
You
that.
gotta say the whole thing over again.
That was my good evening.
Yeah.
Here we have it.
Yeah.
So Tony and I walked this site, was that over the summer?
May, June, July.
Yeah.
August.
So we saw the site. I also got an email from Alan at the DCR. I understand this went in front of DCR,
Yep.
and it's exempt from the Watershed Protection Act.
So we just need to be cautious. We did file for request for advisory ruling just to
Yep.
get, because this is in the DCR primary zone.
Yep. So, yeah, DCR didn't really have much comment on it. Also, the DEP didn't have any comment on it. You know, their letter just says no comment, so.
So good.
Which is, kind of
Rare.
surprising, yeah. So, any questions?
You're just gonna silt fence along the water or something,
Yep.
to keep anything from going in?
It'll be probably a wattle,
Yeah.
wattle and silt fence.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it seems pretty straightforward.
Right. Kind of remove and replace, make it better.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's actually getting pulled a little bit closer just because of
Right,
those
you're-
steps, wooden things, so now the
Yeah, you'll be
concrete, so
a
it's
foot,
even.
foot and a half farther away from the resource area.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's even a little further away.
Right.
Yeah.
A little more lawn area.
I noticed there's this natural pond bottom. Is that, guess, a typo.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
just
not,
gonna be-
it's
it's
not
just-
in the, it's in
no,
the
it's just-
pond, it's in the
that's
grass area.
grass area.
Yep. I guess I will say that Tony and I walked this prior to the wetland flags being hung. So we haven't seen it since that was delineated, but
Be 5 feet off. I did include a wetland report.
Yeah.
Whether that, your Pinto delineated that well for us.
I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I would want to see, I think she did include a
It's
photo.
been a good dry summer too, so if you're gonna do it, this is the time to get it done.
You kind of see her photos, you got a little bit of, right, lawn area, then BBW.
Yep.
I don't have my glasses, but it's,
Yeah.
right, it's a couple feet off the pond edge, it's a little bit BBW. Cleft runs, tie bush, blueberry, stuff like that.
Okay, to me.
Is there any comment from the public? No one else had comment, Palm wants to.
Pile on.
Got nothing to say, Ed? I like the fact that there's gonna be a border by the water to catch any silt or anything like that. People are really responsible people that are filing.
Did you see the bridge going to your house?
That's next phase.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Okay, so that was a motion to close the public hearing.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we'll discuss order of conditions. Standard conditions.
Standard, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much cut and dry what they're gonna do there.
Right.
It's only gonna be an improvement, it's gonna move it back further from the water, there's no downside. You know, how long do you figure that, when would this start and when do you think it'd be done?
We're hoping right after the appeal period, so probably the next 2 weeks, and then probably 3 weeks to a month to get it done.
Yeah, while the dry weather's here
Yes.
before the rains come.
Yes, exactly.
Good, all right.
Okay, so standard order.
Yep.
Okay.
Make that motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Approve it. Standard.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good to go.
Okay.
So should we reach out to you about when we initiate construction, look at our erosion control, I guess, how do you like
Yeah,
us to
you
proceed?
can notify our office.
Okay.
I think we're ready to sign this tonight, so we don't have to come back and
Yeah.
sign it.
So we'll just reach out to the office, we're gonna give you a few
Yeah.
days' notice, say erosion control's up,
Yeah,
we're about to
just
initiate construction.
so we're aware,
Yeah.
I think that would be
Right.
helpful.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. You know, being right on the pond, a lot of people will probably be seeing it, so,
Okay.
you know, that could be helpful for us.
But somebody will call, you know.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Yeah. So what's the deal, do I just sign on like
Yeah.
for
Yep.
you?
Thank you. Have a good night.
So we're all set?
Yep, yeah, we'll get the full order of conditions prepared, and then have it sent over to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck. Thanks for coming.
You want this or you want
So,
that one?
just stick it in this hole and then we'll pass it down. Just pass it.
Thank you.
You going to old business?
Yep, so
Outstanding.
the next order of business is old business. This is for, public hearing pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, for a notice of intent submitted to the Conservation Commission by Platinum Development for property located at Lot 02-29 on New Templeton Road for the construction of a single-family home. Applicant seems to be present.
How you doing?
They don't move easy, do they? I had to say.
Green cards,
Pictures.
did Trish give them to you? Okay, perfect.
So just a couple things about this. We did a site visit, that was on the 24th. That was a week after the last hearing. We walked the site, saw the wetlands. We can talk about that in a second. Alan at DCR, I guess one of the comments that came up during the site walk was just the proximity to the wetlands, and we just wanted to do our due diligence with DCR. So after that, I reached out to Alan at DCR, and he said no filing is required. He looked at the map and the lot and all that. It's off of the watershed. So that satisfies that comment. Do you have anything that you'd like to present to us?
No, you flagged out
Yep.
the features that you guys asked for at the
Yep.
last hearing, so
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep, we saw the stakes for the house corner, driveway entrance, the well, the septic. I think we had maybe a couple questions. Well, we saw that the trash that you indicated would be removed. I remember you had a comment about some of those mature oak trees.
Yeah, I mean, just, I'm sure that, you know, you can see where the driveway's going, you can see where the land pitches right down to the wetland. I'm going to assume you're not really gonna cut anything on that pitch going down into the wetland. You're gonna stay from the driveway to the higher side.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that when you go to haul all that crap, junk, rubbish, we'll say, along, you're just gonna reach in with a machine, chain it or whatever. You're not gonna cut the trees to go
Correct.
in to
Yep.
grab it. You're just gonna have to chain it all out of there, I'm assuming.
Yep.
I realize that that stuff's probably been there since,
We're not gonna look for buried treasure.
well, you might find some there, but, you know, I understand that, you know, it's just, you know, it's obviously you're not gonna wanna take care of all the, wipe out the vegetation and take it out.
Right.
You're just gonna snake it out. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's what you
Yeah.
had planned anyways.
Yep.
Make a reasonable effort to.
Right.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I thought it seemed okay, so.
Any other comments or questions on that?
You saw the whole stake, seems fine. The septic is gonna be right up alongside the road, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, before the banking drops
Yeah.
off. The property line's actually up in the slope, so.
Yeah.
You have to stay back a minimum of 10 feet
Yeah.
from that. And, there's a barrier, a plastic barrier that goes in that actually creates the limit of the work there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty well held in place by that, along that road embankment.
Yeah. The neighbors were here, they seemed more in tune, just kinda wanted to know what was going on. Looks like you know, there'll still be a buffer in between.
Yep.
Is there anyone here in the public that's, for this project?
Are we going to do like a standard order of conditions, or do you have to, because I'm fairly new at that, do you write up something that not cutting that buffer between the driveway and the wetland, which seems to me pretty common sense, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, you don't wanna go looking for trouble.
Right.
And,
We try to take as little trees as possible anyways,
Right,
and leave as much buffer between neighbors, wetlands, et
right,
cetera.
and, you know, hauling that junk out, cause there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's years of collecting right there.
Just listening with how you left the last one, my suggestion would be you know, when he's ready to roll, he gets the silt fence, this line in, and then let you guys know. You come by and check, yep, that's what we had in mind. Cause that essentially sets the limit of work at
Right.
that point.
Yeah.
Except for maybe reaching over and picking a few things out of there.
Yeah.
Cause the basic function of this is to create any of this filling activity
Yeah.
and regrading activity from getting in the wetland. But obviously, he's gonna get a good sized excavator or what have you to chain those materials out of there along the banking.
Yep,
If if the applicant is open to it, I think you have it pretty clear where the limited clearing is on this side. And we've talked about, as you just said, the silt fence being the limit
Yeah.
of clearing on this side. Maybe that's one of the conditions, we just call it out specifically that the silt fence is the limit of clearing. And then maybe another condition could be to, make a reasonable effort at removing the trash.
Yeah, and can you mark where the limit of clearing will be on the sidelines going to the neighbors? Do you know?
Like at the
what I'm-
back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way, just so we can look and we know, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In case anybody asks,
Right.
we can put eyes on it, and then, we can say, hey, we've seen that, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can do
Yeah.
that.
It's pretty standard, pretty easy,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah. I may have to mark it out anyways for my
Yeah.
logger, so
I
it'll be.
understand it. I do that, so I know all about it. I like to have it marked out.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay? So, nope, that's fine with me.
Okay, any other comments, questions? So can I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So the order of conditions, if I'm understanding it right, we'll do the standard order of conditions, with maybe those 3 conditions.
Yep.
Or I guess one condition being to define the limits of clearing, at the site.
Yeah.
And also that the silt fence is the limit of clearing on the north side. So maybe that's one
Where the
condition.
wetland is, yeah.
And then the second condition being to make a reasonable effort at, removing the trash. Those logs too, is that,
Yeah.
those get taken out
Yeah.
of there?
Yeah.
So the trash and the logs.
Yeah,
Good.
sounds good to me.
Okay,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
yep, good luck. We'll get that, the order of conditions prepared and off to you. I actually don't have the signature sheet for that one, so I might have to
Okay.
come back and sign that, but,
All right.
we'll contact you with that.
Great.
So,
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
thanks.
Look at us getting things done.
These were
Yeah.
these aren't the ones that you.
Hey, things go a lot faster
No.
than Tony's
Yeah,
not
so I
here.
don't.
Yeah, I gave Trish, the ones last time, and I had like 2
So
more.
they're probably in the file then.
Yeah,
And what's your name, sorry?
Mike, I don't think I signed it.
Oh, I don't know when I couldn't find you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see the sheet.
My birthday at the top, don't worry about it. And who's this?
Mark Hoffman.
Mark. Did you sign in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want my email or?
Much problem with that.
No, I'll probably have it on
Good
file.
ride right there.
Yeah, I know.
I just
Nancy.
wanted to, oh, okay.
I know Nancy has it.
Okay, yeah, I just needed to be able to say which project it is, because I don't know the names. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next, thing on the agenda, under old business is the it's a public hearing that's been continued, for a notice of intent, 2 notice of intents, for 2 lots on Birches Road.
Right.
So I think we were looking for a little bit of an update.
Oh, okay.
If you'd like to kind of say where you're at,
Oh, okay.
oh, no,
No, okay.
you're welcome to join the table,
Oh,
I meant to say where you're at with the
Comfortable
project.
seats.
No,
Please
that's.
help yourself.
So we're still, we plan on going ahead with the project, but we've had a stumbling block, and the person that we had doing the survey work, the state came back and said that we needed more work done, so that person doesn't want to continue with the project, so we need to find a new surveyor. So we still have intention with going forward with the project, but that's kind of where we're at with it.
Okay.
So unless there's a reason that you need to close it out, I don't see it personally if there's any harm to keep it open.
I don't know if there's any harm in keeping it
Yes.
open.
I think it can only be open for so much longer though, right?
Oh, really?
I
There's
think she said there's,
We can double check on that.
yeah, I think there was a deadline on it though. I think that's what she had said.
A
last
deadline,
time.
This is Ed Blanchett, and he's our
Friend of help.
spokesperson.
Oh, boy. You picked him?
Ed
Well-
Blanchard, 23 East Come Upon Road, Hubbardston. I have for you, it's part of the Rivers Act, and so it gets very complicated. And so we filed with DEP, and Kimberly Roth from DEP sent us back 4 areas that needed to be corrected on the notices of intent. 3 of them are very easy to do. I can review them with you. One was the riverfront multiplier is missing from the fee, which is standard, that's no problem. While delineating the riverfront area, Mark Popham, who was the engineer working on this for us, went from the edge of the river, not the center line of the river. So that has to be corrected, which is not difficult to do. And then, you can only disrupt 10% of the parcel, which is not hard for us to explain either, because they own over 20 acres, and the amount of land disrupted in this case is well under that. The one that's the difficult one is borderland subject to flooding appears to be on the lots and is not shown on the plans. Any impact to BLSF has not been quantified. Well, it's like there's no mapping of this area. So in order to probably tackle this one, we've got to have a surveyor come in and set a point and then do elevations in order to get us this. So part of it is trying to be cost effective, and one of the other problems that exists is in their deed, there's no meets and bounds that specifically tell you where the lot lines are. So there's one lot line that's in question with the neighbor, and what the surveyor has told us we need to do is get in touch with the neighbor, and we've set a pin between the 2 boundaries based upon mapping that exists from the state and also from a subdivision that was across the street, so that we know pretty much exactly where that lot line should be. We have tried for 8 months?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, to get a response from her, and I got in contact with her about 2 weeks ago, and she said that she was going to give us the paperwork that said, yes, she had seen the stake, and we assured her that her 7.7 parcel that abuts theirs, we would make sure that that was intact, and there's no reason for, they have 20 acres, and even if it was toward their side, it's not gonna make any difference, but we placed it where theoretically it should be based upon the best mapping we have. So that's taken quite a bit of time
Yeah.
for us to get
Her
resolved.
response is spotty. If we get a hold of her, she'll say yes, or she'll look at it, and then we don't hear from her for months. So we're kinda at her mercy.
I got you.
And part of the problem, to be honest with you, is that we both go to Florida. So that has,
Hopefully.
we've had a big section of time last winter where it could have been worked on, but it wasn't. And I don't know do you have jurisdiction over what length of time you could give us an extension for?
I think we'd have to check to see
I know
what it
Tricia had said
allows.
something the last time we were
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, cause I don't think we'd necessarily wanna close it out and make you
Right.
pay the fee again, is
Yeah,
probably
we'd
the
have
biggest
to,
hurdle.
we'd have to do a refiling, and
Yeah.
we're making progress, but it
Yeah.
hasn't been as quickly as we would have liked it.
Okay. I do think that you weren't here on the commission
No.
back then. You know, the site is probably reasonably the same, but it could have changed, who knows, in the last couple of years. So I think we kinda need to treat this almost like a new filing so that everyone can walk the site and see it.
Get up to speed.
Look at the plans. I haven't looked at the plans since whenever that was, a year and a half ago or something.
I haven't seen any of it.
Well, certainly we could set up a time to have the board come out
Yeah.
and show you exactly what we're trying to do.
Yep.
And,
I think maybe once you make a little more headway with some of these obstacles that
I think,
you're
if
facing.
I remember, I think Trish said it was 2 years. I
Could
think
be.
it's 2 years.
Okay.
Ed, are you just trying to establish with the neighbor what you would agree to as a lot line? Is that
Yes,
basically what
that's
you're trying to do?
basically-
Well,
Or
that-
in the flooding.
that's one piece of it. We still have to get this borderland subject to flooding.
So question on that, have you seen on the FEMA mapping, whether it's a zone A or a zone AE, or have you come
I have
across
not,
that at all?
the surveyor we were using, said there was state mapping that we might be able to overlay.
Yep,
But, we haven't been able to accomplish that as yet, but we need to, that's the only hurdle we need left.
yep.
To get over and get back to Kimberly Roth, and, I'm taking a look at having, Durand and Estasis, from, they're out of Boston, but, they may be able to help us with that part of the equation.
The reason I ask about how it's classified as zone A or zone AE, it's based on the 100-year flood, so the state has largely been mapped, and for a zone A, there's no elevation assigned to it. In that case, you look at a map and it's overlaid on like aerial imagery, and you can see if the line, if what you wanna do, where you wanna do it is within the shaded area on the line. That's, depending on what you're doing, that might be good enough. You're outside and you're good. If it's a zone AE, there's been an elevation assigned to it, and you look at the plan, it says, oh, elevation 499, that's the 100-year flood elevation. And if you're lower than that elevation, you're within the flood zone. In that case, you'd need a surveyor to say, where we're working is within, lower than that.
So it
elevation.
might be as easy as a surveyor coming out and putting in a point,
Possibly.
an elevation point,
Yeah.
and from there, going with the rest of the mapping from that elevation point.
Possibly, yeah.
Um,
Again, I haven't
We'd
looked
love
at-
to have you come out and see the site, because the drop off from the high ground to the river might be 50 feet, somewhere around
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, 40 feet maybe.
there. Yeah, so, and it's great permeable material,
Mhm.
and what the design was, and I can get you copies of the design.
I think we had
You
them.
may have those, I
Yeah,
don't know.
last year,
But,
it's somewhere in a file, I'm sure.
And then one of the things they wanted was an alternate plan.
Yeah,
Well, we have an alternate plan because, under zoning, you have to be 75 feet from the road for the house. But also in zoning, there's a thing that you can also do an average of the neighborhood, which the neighborhoods, they're all probably 20 feet,
yeah.
30 feet from the road.
Like
So
we are.
with that, and definitely the septic system is gonna be right next to the road, or within that, between that and the house. So that it's not in the back anywhere as close to where the Rivers Act would be.
Yeah.
But, sure, if you'd like to set up a time to, take a look at it, we'd love to show it to you.
I've never seen it, so
Well,
it's all news to me.
I'm wondering if we kind of wait a little bit until some of these other hurdles are kind of addressed. I just wouldn't want to go out there and then it's another year until you've made some progress. And
Well, when was the original filing? I should know that.
I know. I have some dates in July with some correspondence here. Oh, April,
I was gonna say, I thought it was in March or something.
okay, that
April.
sounds about March, April.
Spring.
but
So-
of 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this March would be
this coming
The
March
2
would be
years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, I can check to see,
What the limit is?
yeah, what the limit is.
I don't know.
Some reason I thought she said 2 years, but I think we can extend it, you know. I think she said we could extend it.
Well, for order conditions, they're, is it 2 or 3 years? And then those can get extended, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure this, cause this is kinda in limbo, it's just like an
Right.
open application.
There has not been an NOI number assigned
Assigned
to this
to it,
case
right.
as yet,
Okay,
so
yeah.
you should know that.
yeah. Okay, well, thank you for coming in front of us and giving us an update.
Okay, so you're gonna get back in touch with us as to the timeframe?
Yeah, yeah, well, I
And
think
then
we can
we're gonna
check.
work on those couple of issues? Okay,
Mhm.
just
So even though we're not here, we can have people working on the issues and
Yeah.
Okay.
hopefully get it accomplished.
Do you need to find out where the lot line is so that you can establish that point for the elevation? Is that, or
I think
one
that-
has nothing to do with the other?
No, they're really separate issues.
Okay, that's good
But
enough
in
for me.
order to take the next step, which is to make a building lot,
Yeah,
then we're gonna have to have a perimeter survey to do that
Yeah,
in
so you
order
need
to
to know the
subdivide
lines.
one lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a separate issue from the notice of intent, but it's an issue that we need to address in order to do a filing for an A and R.
Cause one of the
Okay.
lots is on the corner of Ragged Hill.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
Cross.
was there 3 lots that we looked at
Yeah, the other
initially?
one was already
Yes.
built.
Yeah,
The other one's already built on.
that was that one that's built, that was a separate lot,
That- and
its
that-
own deed,
That's
so
right.
that didn't
Cause I was
fall
gonna say, when I
into-
did the site visit, I think it
Right.
was 3 lots we looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, we said we didn't need a filing, and then the other 2 of these, okay.
Right.
That's right.
Cool.
Okay. So I guess we'll continue it.
Yep.
So,
Make a motion.
so just based upon the regulations, we're good until March.
Well, we'll double check that. I mean, we'll
Okay.
continue it, and we'll let you know if some deadline is coming up. But
day
for now,
before.
no. For now,
Hey,
we'll
what are you doing
continue it.
tomorrow? Oh,
So close.
Um,
Make a motion, we continue it.
okay,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Thank you very
We got an
much.
extra
Yeah,
vote.
thank you.
Thank you.
All
Yep.
right,
All right.
thank you.
Should we invite the board to Florida for the next
Sure.
meeting?
Well, we'll have to
Is
hold
it gonna
off
be-
on that for a
gotta
minute
hope
and
it's
see if
gonna be
it's
a
still
Florida.
there.
That's
I
true.
just talked to my daughter down there. I asked her if she was ordered to evacuate, but she said, no, she's on the east, she's in West Palm.
Oh, that's where we are,
Yeah.
My
cousin's in Clearwater. They're not.
Oh,
right,
Oh,
because it's coming
He
over
said he was gonna ride it out, and then I
from
heard he
the Gulf.
Took a ride.
It's like a
couple hours
category 3,
It's
it's
a-
gonna hit
it's
the
a
land
5 right now,
before,
it's gonna
and
be
it's
a
gonna
3.
drop, and then it's gonna leave, but, I mean, you know, that's good for us, but it's still not good for somebody else, so.
The worst of it is it's gonna go close to where they just had so much
That's,
damage.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
had a
it's coming right
surge.
through Tampa and Clearwater. and-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't even imagine.
Had a surge in Tampa that was 7 feet,
Yeah.
and they say that was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And they're
Cause
saying
in
this one's
Clearwater,
gonna
my
be
cousin get 2 feet of
Right,
water.
10 to
and his-
15 feet.
10 to
Yeah.
15.
And then,
Yeah.
Wow.
Not worth taking the chance. I told Matty, I said, if they tell you to get out of there, you best be on
That's
your
right,
way.
that's right, looking
Yeah.
forward to it,
Good, good.
yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night.
have
Thank
a
you.
good one.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay, oh, no, that's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, what else we have to discuss?
So the last thing on the agenda,
oh, minutes.
is just an update on the lot on Grimes Road.
Oh, yeah.
So I was not at the site visit,
Yeah,
I guess Tricia and Tony were there.
yeah.
Basically, there's nothing that we need to do, you know, at this point on our
Okay.
end. But DEP did have some comments and concerns about some kind of plan type things. So, yeah, you can see the letter in here, talking about wetland flags.
Yeah.
showing some other things in the plans. But as I understand it, they're not necessarily challenging the order of conditions that we've issued to them. So it sounds like that's probably gonna remain.
Just additional things they
Just
want.
kinda change some things in the plan. So, yep, at this point, there's nothing that we need to do. Hopefully the applicant, you know, doesn't have to redesign everything and, yeah. Hopefully it's pretty quick changes that can get addressed and everything will be on their way.
Good.
Is there any
Motion.
comments from the public?
Well, we took care of them all.
I already wrote down none.
Yeah, we can't do the minute meetings because Tony's not here.
We don't have the minutes.
We don't have them.
Oh, we don't have 'em?
We'll have them at the next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh,
I
are those
thought that's
old
what
minutes?
these were.
Are those old ones?
From
Oh, maybe
July
there's some old
9th?
ones in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Are we already okay
we
then?
want these.
Okay.
Yeah, those must have just been hanging out in the binder.
Yeah, all right.
So, motion to adjourn.
Sounds good.
Richard,
Yep.
second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
7:40.
Meg?
Yep.